Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel 100% Pure Elvis. Thank you all for returning to my channel to watch my new upload, and if you are new to my 100% Pure Elvis channel, welcome aboard and thank you for joining. So today I am doing my favourite albums of Elvis from the 1970s. There is 18 altogether that I want to share with you, and I'm going to do it in reverse order. Now, as you can imagine, being an Elvis fan, it's very, very difficult to do these sorts of lists of your favourite down to your least favourite. I don't have a least favourite album from Elvis in the 70s. How I've figured this out is possibly which albums I listen to the least in my collection from the 1970s and my personal favourites from the 1970s. So again, some of the albums you might think I've put in the wrong position, or you might agree with me or disagree. And again, please share your thoughts in the comments below. So as I said, there is 18 to get through altogether. I'm going to make a start at number 18, going all the way up to number 1. So the album I listen to the least and that I've put in at number 18 is Love Letters from Elvis, which was a 1971 release on RCA. And again, I've chosen this album as my least favourite from the 1970s because I don't tend to listen to it a great deal. And again, on the back, you've got your track listing, but again, I've seen many subscribers say Elvis was very disappointed that this album got released, and I don't know how true that is, but let me quickly talk you through the track listing. I'm not going to show you the vinyls inside because I have uploaded all these vinyls previously, so I'm just going to talk through the track listing and the front and back covers. So we have Love Letters, Only Believe, Got My Mojo Working, Cindy Cindy, This Is Our Dance, When I'm Over You, If I Were You, I'll Never Know, Heart of Rome, Live, It Ain't No Big Thing But It's Growing. And again, great songs. My favourite on there, Got My Mojo Working, Only Believe, Heart of Rome's a lovely song, Live. But again, it's the album I listen to the least from the 1970s. So in at number 18, Love Letters from Elvis. In at number 17 is Elvis from 1973, otherwise known as the Fool album. Again, I tend not to listen to this album a great deal, and it's got its original sticker on the front here. I love the front cover design now from Elvis, from Aloha from Hawaii image there. On the reverse, it's promoting two other albums. So you've got Aloha from Hawaii and as recorded at Madison Square Garden. And the track listing on the Elvis album is Fool, Where Do I Go From Here, It's Impossible, It's Still Here, I Will Be True, I'll Take You Home Again, Kathleen, That's What You Get for Loving Me, Padre, Don't Think Twice, It's All Right, Love Me, Love the Life I Lead. And I think, again, I absolutely love It's Impossible, That's What You Get for Loving Me, Where Do I Go From Here, Fool, I'm not overly keen on I'll Take You Home Again, Kathleen. And again, I'm not overly keen on I Will Be True. But again, in at number 17, Elvis, otherwise known as the Fool album. In at number 16, we have Elvis Sings The Wonderful World of Christmas, originally released in 1971. This is the 2023 reissue I have here. Again, great album, but I only listen to it once a year around Christmas time, so I had to put this quite low down on my lists of favourite albums from the 1970s. But I think it's a great front cover image there. And on the reissue on the back, they are promoting the other Christmas album, Elvis on Tour, Aloha from Hawaii. Let me talk you through the track listing. O Come All Ye Faithful, The First Noel, On a Snowy Christmas Night, Winter Wonderland, The Wonderful World of Christmas, It Won't Seem Like Christmas Without You, I'll Be Home on Christmas Day, If I Get Home on Christmas Day, Holly Leaves and Christmas Trees, Merry Christmas Baby, Silver Bells. Again, I love all of them songs, but so there we have at number 16, Elvis Sings The Wonderful World of Christmas. In at number 15, we have Elvis Now. This was issued in 1972. And again, another great front cover there with Elvis in concert. On the back, you got your rainbow coloured design and the track listing on the Elvis Now album. Help Me Make It Through the Night, Miracle of the Rosary, Hey Jude, Put Your Hand in the Hand, Until It's Time for You to Go, We Can Make the Morning, Early Morning Rain, Sylvia, Fools Rush In Where Angels Fear to Tread. I was born about 10,000 years ago. I absolutely adore Until It's Time for You to Go, Sylvia, Fools Rush In, We Can Make the Morning. So there we have, in at number 15, Elvis Now. In at number 14, Elvis in Concert. This was released, as you all know, in 1977. Again, I adore this album, but I tend not to listen to it a great deal. Again, I think there's better live albums from Elvis, which I have put higher up. And again, I love this front cover image of Elvis here from 1975. And on the back, I think that image is from 1972. And again, we have theme from 2001, A Space Odyssey, CC Rider, That's All Right, Are You Lonesome Tonight, medley of Let Me Be Your Teddy Bear, Don't Be Cruel, Elvis's Fans Comments, You Gave Me a Mountain, Jailhouse Rock, Elvis's Fans Comments, How Great Thou Art, Elvis's Fans Comments, I Really Don't Want to Know, Elvis introduces his father, Hurt, Hound Dog, My Way, Can't Help Falling in Love, Closing Riff, Special Message from Elvis's father, Vernon Presley, medley of I Got a Woman, Amen, Elvis Talks, Love Me, If You Love Me, Let Me Know, medley of Oh Sole Mio, It's Now or Never, Trying to Get to You, Hawaiian Wedding Song, Fairy Tale, Little Sister, Early Morning Rain, What Did I Say, Johnny Be Good, and finally, And I Love You So. And next, Good Times. I'm not going to say the positions because I'm working my way up to number one, so you know where they sit. So again, good image of Elvis on the front cover here. I was corrected recently. Apparently this is an image of Elvis from 1973, I believe. I think I was corrected. And on the back, you just got your standard track listing. Good Times was originally released in 1974. This is the original 1974 copy. Side A, Take Good Care of Her, Love in Arms, I Got a Feeling in My Body, If That Isn't Love, She Wears My Ring. Side B, I've Got to Think About You Baby, My Boy, Spanish Eyes, talk about the Good Times. Good Time, Charlie's Got the Blues. I absolutely love Spanish Eyes, talk about the good times. Good Time, Charlie's Got the Blues. Love in Arms. But again, great album, but just in the lower ranks of my favourite albums from the 70s. The next one is from 1972, He Touched Me. The only gospel album I have in the top here from the 1970s. Again, another great image of Elvis on the front there. And again, promoting the two of the gospel albums on the back. Again, we have the track listing is as follows. He touched me. I've got confidence. Amazing grace. Seeing is believing. He is my everything. Bosom of Abraham. An evening prayer. Lead me, guide me. There is no God but God. A thing called love. I, John, reach out to Jesus. Again, even though I adore Elvis Gospel, I tend not to play this album a great deal. So again, I couldn't put it any higher. So this is the original 1972 release of He Touched Me. The next one is from 1974, recorded live on stage in Memphis. Absolutely adore this album. Again, on the back, you got the Graceland gates and Graceland on the front there. A superb front cover image. The track listing is as follows. CC Rider, I Got a Woman, Love Me, Trying to Get to You. Medley of Long Tall Sally, Whole Lot of Shaking Going On. Mama Don't Dance, Flip, Flop and Fly, Jailhouse Rock, Hound Dog, Why Me Lord, How Great Thou Art. Side B, medley of Blueberry Hill, I Can't Stop Loving You, Help Me, American Trilogy, Let Me Be There, My Baby Left Me, Lordy Miss Claudie, Can't Help Falling in Love, closing riff. Again, such a great album. Elvis, as recorded live on stage in Memphis. The next one is from Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee. I think it's such a great album, but again, I've got more favourites in the top half. Again, lovely image of Elvis there from 1975. On the reverse, you got your track listing, and this is the music on vinyl copy, and the track listing is as follows. Hurt, Never Again, Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, Danny Boy, The Last Farewell, For the Heart, Bitter They Are, Harder They Fall, Solitaire, Love Coming Down, I'll Never Fall in Love Again. My favourite has to be The Last Farewell, Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, Solitaire, Love Coming Down, and the stunning Hurt. So there we have from Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee. And the next one is, so I'm just checking my list, Promised Land from 1975. Again, this is the music on vinyl reissue. Again, another great image of Elvis on the front cover there. I think that image is from 1975, I believe. And let me just double check. Yeah, I think it's from 1975, the image. If I am incorrect, please correct me in the comments below. On the back, again, promoting 4 other Elvis releases. And let's talk through the track listing. Promised Land, There's a Honky Tonk Angel, Who Will Take Me Back In, Help Me, Mr. Songman, Love Song of the Year, It's Midnight, Your Love's Been a Long Time Coming, If You Talk in Your Sleep, Thinking About You, You Asked Me To. My favourite has to go to possibly There's a Honky Tonk Angel, Promised Land, I absolutely adore. The beautiful It's Midnight, Help Me. But again, yeah, great album. We have Elvis, Promised Land. The next one is an album from 1973, and it is Raised on Rock. And this is on the Friday Music label. So this is a reissue on Friday Music. And again, the front and back are exactly the same. You just got on the back the track listing at the bottom here, which I will talk through with you. Side A, Raised on Rock. Are you sincere? Find out what's happening. I miss you, girl of mine. Side B, for old time's sake. If you don't come back, just a little bit. Sweet Angeline, 3 corn patches. Do you know what? This album gets a lot of raw deal in some Elvis circles. I think this album is superb. I mean, again, I couldn't put it any higher, but I do play this album quite often. And again, what's my favourite on it? I love I Miss You, If You Don't Come Back, Raised on Rock, Girl of Mine. Such a great album. So there we have Raised on Rock. The next one is another live album, Aloha from Hawaii via satellite. This is the music on vinyl copy that consists of 4 LPs inside. I won't go through the whole track listing. So there's the back and the front. This is very, very rare indeed. You are looking at upwards of £100. So again, actually I will read the track listing across to both if you don't mind. We have theme from 2001, A Space Odyssey, CC Rider, Burning Love, Something, You Gave Me a Mountain, Steamroller Blues, My Way, Love Me, Johnny Be Good, It's Over, Blue Suede Shoes, I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, I Can't Stop Loving You, Hound Dog, What Now My Love, Fever, Welcome to My World, Suspicious Minds, Introductions by Elvis, I'll Remember You, medley of Long Tall Sally, Whole Lot of Shaking Going On, An American Trilogy, A Big Hunk of Love, Can't Help Falling in Love, LPs 3 and 4, theme from 2001, A Space Odyssey, CC Rider, Burning Love, Something, You Gave Me a Mountain, Steam Roller Blues, My Way, Love Me, It's Over, Blue Suede Shoes, I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, Hound Dog, What Now My Love, Fever, Welcome to My World, Suspicious Minds, Introductions by Elvis, I'll Remember You, An American Trilogy, A Big Hunk of Love, Can't Help Falling in Love, Closing Riff, Bonus Songs, Blue Hawaii, Kupuipo, No More, Hawaiian Wedding Song, Early Morning Rain. The next one I actually do not have on vinyl. I tried to, in all my vast collection of Elvis on vinyl, this is one vinyl that I do not own. And do you know what? I only found this out today. So, but I do have it on CD. So I'm showing you the CD. So the next one is Elvis as recorded at Madison Square Garden. This is from 1972. And this CD was issued in 1988. So again, let me talk you through the track listing. Theme from 2001, A Space Odyssey, That's All Right, Proud Mary, Never Been to Spain, You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, You've Lost That Loving Feeling, Polk Salad Annie, Love Me, All Shook Up, Heartbreak Hotel, medley, Let Me Be Your Teddy Bear, Don't Be Cruel, Love Me Tender, The Impossible Dream, Introductions by Elvis, Hound Dog, Suspicious Minds, For the Good Times, American Trilogy, Funny How Time Slips Away, I Can't Stop Loving You, Can't Help Falling in Love, End Theme. And on this CD, I absolutely love the version of American Trilogy. Superb. So out of all the live albums from the 1970s, that's my favourite. And the next one is from 1971, Elvis Country. Again, a lot of people don't like the front cover here on this album. I actually think it's a great front cover, very different on an Elvis album. As you all know, this is Elvis at 3 years old. 2 years old, not 3 years old. And on the back, and let me share with you the track listing. Snowbird, Tomorrow Never Comes, Little Cabin on the Hill, Whole Lot of Shaking Going On, Funny How Time Slips Away, I Really Don't Want to Know, There Goes My Everything, It's Your Baby, You Rock It, The Fool, Faded Love, I Washed My Hands in Muddy Water, Make the World Go Away, and finally, I Was Born About 10,000 Years Ago. This is a reissue from the early 1980s. So there we have Elvis Country. And the next, going into the top parts now of my favourites, we have Moody Blue. Now, The copy that I'm showing you is the copy on Follow That Dream vinyl. I do have the original and reissues, but I wanted to share this one with you because I absolutely adore this version of Moody Blue. So again, we have the track listing is very different, but you all know what songs are on Moody Blue anyway. So we have LP 1 side A, Unchained Melody. If you love me, let me know. Blue eyes crying in the rain. He'll have to go. Bitter they are, harder they fall. She thinks I still care. Moody Blue, pledging my love. It's easy for you. Softly as I leave you. LP 2 side 1, Way Down. She thinks I still care. Moody Blue, pledging my love. Let me be there. America. LP 2 side 2, Unchained Melody. Little darling. She thinks I still care. Moody Blue, My Way. Oh, such a stunning set. Very rare indeed. You're looking at over £200 to £250. So there we have, in at number 4, Moody Blue. Next, we have the 1975 album Today, and a great image of Elvis there on the front cover. Again, is at 72-73, and I love the Elvis font, and I just love everything about the front cover. And on the reverse, again promoting other Elvis releases here. Let me talk you through the track listing. Trouble, And I Love You So, Susan When She Tried, Woman Without Love, Shake a Hand, Pieces of My Life, Fairy Tale, I Can Help, Bringing It Back, Green Green Grass of Home. So this LP has my all-time favourite Elvis song on it, and subscribers to my channel will know it is Bringing It Back. I also love I Can Help, Fairy Tale, Woman Without Love, Trouble, and I Love You So. Do you know what? On this album, there's only 2 songs I'm not overly keen on. Shake a Hand, I'm not overly keen on that, and Green Green Grass of Home. I just wish Elvis hadn't recorded that song. But again, I'm not saying I dislike it, but I'm not overly keen. So there we have, in at number 3, Today from 1975. The next one, in at number 2, is from 1970, and this is on the Music on Vinyl label. February 1970, On Stage. I'll tell you one thing now, it's got to be one of my all-time favourite images of Elvis on any front cover here. This is on the Music on Vinyl label. On the reverse, the front and back cover are just superb, stunning. Let me share with you the track listing on Stage. CC Rider, Release Me and Let Me Love Again, Sweet Caroline, Runaway, The Wonder of You, Side 2, Polk Salad Annie, Yesterday, Proud Mary, Walk a Mile in My Shoes, Let It Be Me. I adore this album. I play this album so much, but again, there's one album for me that trumps this album. So in at number 2, On Stage. And finally, you probably all guessed by now, again, it's another album from 1970, and it also has my favourite image of Elvis on any front cover. That's the way it is. And again, this is a rare edition on the Music on Vinyl. It consists of 4 LPs inside. Absolutely stunning. You're looking at, again, over £200. But I just love it. I love everything about this album. And on the reverse, very heavy as well. I'm just going to quickly talk you through the track listing on this set here. So I'm going to first of all talk through LPs 1 and 2. I just can't help believing 20 Days and 20 Nights, How the Web Was Woven, Patch It Up, Mary in the Morning, You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, You've Lost That Loving Feeling, I've Lost You, Just Pretend, Stranger in the Crowd, The Next Step Is Love, Bridge Over Troubled Water. The original singles, I've Lost You, The Next Step Is Love, You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, Patch It Up. The outtakes, How the Web Was Woven, Take 1, I've Lost You, Take 1, You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, Take 2, Patch It Up, Take 1, Bridge Over Troubled Water, Take 1. We're now going on to LPs 3 and 4. That's Alright. Oh, sorry, this is from the August 12th dinner show. That's Alright, I Got a Woman, Hound Dog, Heartbreak Hotel, Love Me Tender, I've Lost You, I Just Can't Help Believing, Patch It Up, 20 Days and 20 Nights, You've Lost That Loving Feeling, Polk, Sally Danny, Introductions, Blue Suede Shoes, You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, Bridge Over Troubled Water, Suspicious Minds, Can't Help Falling in Love. So there's my all-time favourite album from 1970. That's the way it is. So what I'm now going to do in reverse order from number 1 to number 18, go through why I've put them where they are at. This has always been number 1 for me in my Elvis collection of any album from Elvis throughout his entire career. For me, that was just a no-brainer. I love everything about this album. Every single track on this album for me, even on the original release, just superb. Very close second on stage. Again, everything about the album, track listing, how he sounded. Today, my favourite from the mid-1970s. Again, strong songs on this album. And again, probably going to be quite controversial, putting it quite high up in my favourites from the 1970s. I had to play with this album a bit because Moody Blue was always consistently in my top 5, and this is sitting at number 4. So I couldn't put it any lower, but I do tend to listen to the Today album more and On Stage, and that's the way it is. But Moody Blue, for his last studio album, outstanding. I mean, as we all know, some of the tracks on Moody Blue were live recordings on stage, but a great album. Elvis Country. Do you know what? Again, love everything about the album. Strong songs on this album, and it's an album I do return to time and time again. Sorry, the next one is the CD recorded at Madison Square Garden. That's my favourite live Elvis album. The way Elvis sounds, his voice, it's just stunning. I just love everything about that live concert. And then we had the next one of Aloha from Hawaii. Subscribers to my channel will know my favourite is the alternate Aloha. I think Elvis looked more relaxed to what he did on the televised one, and I think he sounded better. But I'll tell you one thing now, it's just I'm always in awe when I watch Aloha from Hawaii. He just looked healthy. Everything about it was just superb. But Madison Square Garden just beats it for me. So there we have Aloha from Hawaii. Next, Raised on Rock. Again, as I said earlier, this gets a raw deal from a lot of Elvis fans, but I like the album. It's not my favourite, as you can see, but again, got some beautiful songs in it. There's a couple of songs that I'm not overly keen on, but again, it's an album. When I do play it, I thoroughly enjoy it. Promised Land. I mean, what more can I say about this album? Again, it's just like a typical Elvis album from the mid-1970s, and I think for me, again, I'm thinking about, is there any weak songs on this album, and possibly a couple. But again, when I put the album on, I enjoy it, but I couldn't put it any higher in my favourites from the 1970s, all because of the other albums that I've shown you. I play more and enjoy more. From Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee. Do you know what? I mean, again, another album that it gets a lot of bad feedback from the Elvis fans, and but you know, it's quite melancholy. I mean, some of the songs are really depressing, and Elvis was at that stage in his career where most of the songs he was recording were um, more songs down that road of being more sad and melancholy. But again, I think they're beautiful songs. And again, the only song I don't like on this album is Danny Boy. I'm not overly keen on Danny Boy. Everything else I do enjoy. And when I put the album on, I thoroughly enjoy it. The next one is the live album recorded live on stage in Memphis. Now, do you know what? People will be quite surprised that maybe why have I put this quite low down. I mean, I think it's an amazing album. And for me, the two other live albums, Aloha from Hawaii and the Madison Square Garden album, I think are better. Again, you might disagree with me on that one, and please do. And I do respect your opinions. But I do thoroughly enjoy this live album. He sounds amazing. But I'm only going by which albums I listen to the most and what I enjoy the most. And out of the live albums, this sits third. So I've got the Madison Square Garden, Aloha from Hawaii, and then as recorded on stage in Memphis. Next, the only gospel album in the 70s here, He Touched Me. I absolutely adore Elvis gospel music, but it is the genre of music that I tend to play the least of Elvis. And possibly Christmas music, but that's why I couldn't put this any higher, because I don't really play this album a lot. And, you know, if I'm being honest, I possibly can't even remember the last time I played this album in full. I tend to put on a CD of Elvis gospel if I want to listen to gospel music. So that's why I've had to put it quite low down. So there we have He Touched Me. Next, Good Times from 1974. Now, again, very difficult for me to say these things because I enjoy the album, but I don't play it that often. And it has to be because it's an album that I possibly don't enjoy it as much as the other studio albums, and it's not an album I go to and think, yeah, I want to put that album on from the 1970s, etc. And I think there's a few weak songs on this album, but yeah. So for me, Good Times I couldn't put any higher. But again, an enjoyable album, but again, not strong in my opinion. The next one is the last live album in my list, and it is Elvis in Concert from 1977. Now, again, why have I put this so low down on my list? Well, I have to be honest. I mean, for me personally, I get really, really quite emotional when I listen to this album because, you know, I think, again, Elvis sounds in great voice, but on some of the songs, I think you can hear that he is struggling. Again, you might disagree, but some of the songs is just outstanding. But I think for me, it's all because I knew what was around the corner, and I just get really upset listening to it. And it's an album that I tend not to play a great deal. So I couldn't put it any higher in my list from the 1970s. The next one, again, is probably going to be quite controversial, was Elvis Now. And again, even though there's some great tracks on this album, it's an album that I just do not put on. You know, I very, very rarely listen to this album. And, you know, until it's time for you to go, We Can Make the Morning, Early Morning Rain, you know, again, and possibly help me make it through the night. Again, it's got some weak songs on it, I think. I mean, that's not to say they're not great songs. I mean, the songs I've just pointed out are very good. I wish he would have stayed away from Hey Jude. I just wish Elvis would have stayed away from that song. Um, I'm not a fan of the Beatles, but again, I wish Elvis wouldn't have touched it. Um, but yeah, it's an album that I don't put on a great deal, and that's why it sits quite low down on my list. The next is Elvis Sings the Wonderful World of Christmas. This would be higher on my list because I actually love Elvis Christmas songs, but because I only listen to it once a year, and it's very Christmas. Obviously, it's very Christmassy because it's a Christmas album. You know, I couldn't put it any higher, but it's my favourite. It's what out of all the Christmas albums, which is my favourite. Um, it has to be Elvis's Christmas album on the back. I prefer this one, but still a lovely album, a lovely Christmas album. And who doesn't love Elvis at Christmas? But I put this quite low down because it's an album I only play at Christmas time. I wouldn't entertain it at any other part of the year. And we've got two left. Elvis, otherwise known as the Fall album. Again, an album, in my personal opinion, I do think it's quite weak. I think it didn't perform at all in the United Kingdom. And I think the reasons why was because of Aloha from Hawaii. It was released far too close to that. I think it got lost in all the furore of Aloha from Hawaii. No strong songs on the album. I do love the title track Fool, and I do love That's What You Get for Loving Me. It's Impossible, but you know what? I do think there is some weak songs on here. I mean, I don't like I Will Be True. I'm not saying I don't dislike it, but I'm not keen on it. And it's still here. I'm not overly keen on. But yeah, so it's an album that again I tend not to listen to a great deal. But when I do put it on, you know, again, I will skip on some of the songs. I just do not like I'll Take You Home Again, Kathleen. I'm not overly keen on it. So there we have last but one, Elvis, otherwise known as Fall album. Now, to me, this had to be last. Love Letters from Elvis. Because it's an album that I just don't listen to a great deal. Some of the songs, I think you can tell that they are songs that possibly Elvis didn't want to record, or they were just left on the cutting room floor. You know, I've read that Elvis did not want this album to be released. I mean, there is some lovely songs on here. I mean, I only believe lovely. I mean, Love Letters, obviously that's a re-recorded version of Love Letters. I do like Life, Heart of Rome, as a favourite of my mum's. But besides that, I'm not overly keen on the album. Okay, it's a lovely listen, but I'm going by which albums I listen to the least from the 1970s. So again, please, you know, if I have offended anyone, you know, I do apologise, but this is my personal opinion. It's a lovely album, but for me, Elvis's weakest album from the 1970s. So again, for me, that was a very, very difficult choice to make. And again, you know, I know there's other Elvis albums that were released in the 1970s. What I've tried to do there is I've tried to get the studio albums together, the live albums together, Christmas album, gospel album. I know there was other albums that were released like on different labels. I just really wanted to keep it the core albums that I've just shared with you all. And again, I hope you have thoroughly enjoyed this upload. And for me, I think Pete's making a list of Elvis' favourite albums or favourite Elvis songs, etc., or movies, it's always going to be difficult because you're always going to have people disagreeing with your opinions or agreeing with your opinions. And for me, that's what I love. That's what I like reading. That's what I like seeing in respect of, you know, someone might have put an album up higher on their list to what I would, and that is all personal preference. And for me, you know, let's not make any mistake. You know, I love everything about Elvis's music, you know, but there was some weak albums, there was some weak songs that he recorded, and obviously, you know, I know some people might say, no, Elvis, every song that Elvis recorded was amazing. I personally don't think it was. I think there's a lot of weak songs. And what I mean by weak is when you listen to some of his other tracks that are stronger and were big hit singles and are played more, you can see the difference. And I also think, being an Elvis fan, I don't know if you agree with me or not, also, you can hear in Elvis's voice when he's singing them songs that he's either enjoying singing them or not, especially some of the soundtrack songs. You know, you can actually tell, I think, that he's going through the motions of, oh God, I've got to record this song. And also, for me, throughout the 70s, the only thing I would say, I just wish Elvis would have performed more of the lesser known songs on the albums in concert. We all know why he didn't, because the fans wanted to hear the big hitters, and Elvis wanted to give the fans what they wanted. So again, I'm going to sign off in a minute because this upload is nearly 45 minutes long and I've had way too much of your time. But I wanted to get that put together because, again, I've been asked a few times, what's my favourites from the 1970s? Because, as you all know, the 1970s is my favourite era of Elvis. What I'm going to go on to next is my favourite singles from the 1970s. So, again, I'm not going to do a least favourite going up to my favourite. What I'm going to do is the singles that were released, and I'm only going to do the United Kingdom, because if I started going down the road of doing the United States as well, because we all know that in the United States a single was released that wouldn't have been released in the United Kingdom, and vice versa. That will just take me far too long. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to concentrate on the Elvis Presley singles that were released in the United Kingdom. And what I will do, I'm going to put them in what my favourite is, and down to not my least favourite, but yeah, I'm going to have to say least favourite, because what I mean by that is the one. So you're going to have my favourite from the 1970s. This isn't going to be my favourite song from the 1970s because that's not a single. What I'm going to be doing is my favourite singles from the 1970s. I've already done my favourite songs of Elvis throughout his career, so please check out the upload. It's called 100% Pure Elvis Top 20 Favourite Elvis Songs. So please check out that video. But the next upload that I will be doing, possibly over the weekend, is going to be, I'm going to put together a top list of singles from the 1970s in the UK charts, where my favourites were down to what I think are my least favourites. So again, I just want to say, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel but enjoy my channel, please hit the subscribe button. Helps make my channel grow. And if you know any other Elvis fans out there that haven't seen my channel, could you please share my channel with them or send them my way? And it'd be great to have them on board. And welcome to the 100% Pure Elvis family. As I always sign out by saying, please keep Elvis close to your heart. Please keep on playing his music. That's most important to me, because we need to keep Elvis music alive. We need to keep playing Elvis. you know, to a younger generation. And loved you all, and I will speak soon, everybody. Bye bye.